Hi there, it's Kelly from Coffee Sunshine Paper, and I'm here today with a little tutorial on how to take a book that you just adore. It is just the cutest little thing. Maybe you found it at a used bookstore or a thrift store and it was about to get thrown out, but you saw potential. You know it can be a journal, but this spine is so tiny, right? I don't know about you, but when I start decorating my journals, that thing gets wide. So I don't want you to decide not to get the cute little book for $1.99. I want you to get the book and make the spine bigger. Okay, so that's what we're going to do today, is take a book that maybe it could have a bigger spine. Yeah, it would make a much more fun journal to decorate. Okay, so this isn't the one, but this was a good example, right? Like, that is just so tiny, but this book is so cute. Anyway, the book we're going to use is this one. And I don't normally coordinate my fingernail polish with my books, but it happened today, so okay, we'll take it. This spine is not actually too bad. It looks like it's about 1 inch, but we are going to replace it with a 2-inch spine today. Okay, so I just did this earlier with this Wuthering Heights. It had this teeny tiny little spine, which is adorable, and I'm still going to use it somewhere in the journal, maybe bookmark, or I don't know, something. We'll figure something out because it's cute. But yeah, we turned it into a 2-incher. Much better, much better. Lots of room for decorating. Okay. So that's what we're going to do with this blue one here, this Introduction to Music. Now, when I took out, this is another reason to do this also, is when I took out the text block, I got a little scissor happy there. I don't know if you can see it right there, right there, a little problem there. So, you know, we can't really use this one the way it is. You could tape it down probably, and a nice strong tape would make it fine, but while it's damaged, we might as well make it bigger. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. Things you're going to need, obviously the book. You're going to need some fabric and some tape. I use this as kind of like Tyvek tape, this tape, scissors, fabric for the inside, fabric for the outside, maybe some kind of cutting tool, glue, and that should be it, but we'll see along the way what we need. All right, so first thing we need to do is get this spine off of the book, and I think I'm going to do it from this side. I need a ruler, would be nice to use right now. Yes, I use a ruler, definitely. And this is not a craft knife, but it is a perfectly good, I think they call it a box cutter, and it was in my garage in a toolbox, just not being used. And I thought, well, you know, it's in my garage. Husband doesn't really mind too much that I use this stuff, but really, as Pam at the Paper Outpost always says, anything is a craft supply. So there we go, and we're just gonna remove that spine. Might need a couple runs, but nope, that one went just fine. I'll line it up again. And down the stretch we go. Okay, great. So again, we're going to set this aside. This is fine. I can clean that up later. We'll set this aside, and that could be like a cute bookmark or something. We'll find a spot for it. It belongs with its book. So retract. All right, we're going to clean this up a little bit and get a 2-inch spine on this one. Okay, so let's lay it out. Oh, like this. Yes, okay. And we want the 2-inch spine to be there, so we need to decide what it's gonna be. So I use a lot of things for spines. Show you some examples. Krusty's, one of my guys loves his waffles. Cracker Box, this is a nice thick one, this particular brand. Some cereal, and these type of file folders that you can find at the thrift store too. So I think that's what we're going to use this one, because you can see it's kind of thin, kind of a little wobbly. So we're going to use 2 layers, okay? But all of these work, and all of these I have used and will continue to use. So, these I already have cut up from previous projects, so I think I'll just grab this 2-incher here. We could do 2.5 too. This one's a little short. Yeah. So we're going to do this 2-inch one. We have to trim it down a little bit, but not too bad. Not a whole lot of measuring going on in my craft room. We are just going to see where it should be cut down. And it looks like just this little sliver, this little 1/4 of an inch here. So we'll take it down. I am camera, yes, I am. And we'll just take it down a little bit like that. And twice. Okay. And then we'll need another one, because 2 of them just makes a really nice thickness, I think. Again, just gonna need to take it down. A little bit, that much. Yep. And if it's not exact, it's not a big deal. We're gonna have fabric on the inside and the outside of it, so you know, it's not a huge deal. All right, so we're going to glue these together. I am using Fabri-Tac, but I put it in one of these Sugar Bell icing piping bottles. I just love it. It just gives me a little more control over the amount of glue I want to put out there. You can see it's a nice thin stream. They're not that much. Got it on Amazon. But I do love them. If you do get it, get these little topper things too, because this glue tends to like volcano out, and this just stops it in its place. And those go on like that, and we'll just give that a minute to adhere. This glue, Fabri-Tac, Fabri-Fix, and Beacon 3-in-1. They all kind of work the same way, same type of glue. I can use them for anything, fabric, paper, anything really. It's great glue. All right, I think we can work with this now. It probably could sit a little longer, but it's not going to really go anywhere in what we have planned for it. Okay, so you can see it's 2 inches. Just perfect. That's what we wanted. More room to decorate inside the journal. And that looks good now. Okay, so next we are going to put down some of this tape. And again, this is like a Tyvek type tape. This one's called tuck tape. It's just like a generic Tyvek. And of course, it's going to take me 20 years to get it off the roll. All right, let's see. Not too bad. Okay. Oops, we got a little straggler back here. Okay. This is when I wish I had a pause button. I will look into the pause button. There's an app for that, right? There's always an app. Okay, sorry, this is loud too. This has got to be a little annoying to listen to, but just going to save that for later. Actually, we'll use that. Let's use that to anchor so it doesn't flop around too much on me. Okay, so get this back lined up. And I'm going to leave just a little bit of room in there. You want a little bit of room because you want the book to be able to bend easily and nicely. Okay, so I'm just going to anchor it down so it doesn't flop around when I'm trying to get it in one spot. There we go. All right, that's how we want it there. Now the bigger piece. Again, I apologize. That noise is very annoying. You can just ask my dog. She will tell you. All right, now this guy. Almost to the end. And I don't want it too much over into the actual book. Just enough so it stays where it's supposed to. A little mourning dove outside the window. I don't know if you hear that too. And a snoring dog behind me. Jazzy, say hi. Okay, I don't know if you can hear her snoring, but she's a snorer. Especially when she naps. Luckily not too much overnight. But she snores when she naps. Just gonna put this little piece here. And get another piece off of here. Maybe. And watch me struggle with this again. Must be a little bit entertaining, huh? Okay. All right. We don't need the whole long strip this time because we just can cut it in half. Sometimes I'm good at this, sometimes not so much. Let's see. Not bad. Okay. Down it goes. And then just a little bit more here. And down it goes. Okay. Now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Oop. I probably could have tried to hide my little thing there, but it doesn't matter. It's going to get covered up with fabric. All right, and again, I don't want it going too far over the book. Doesn't need to be too far. Just enough to make me think it's going to stay in place. I don't even mind this little wrinkly things here. My outside fabric is pretty thick. I think it's upholstery fabric. Super thick. And then again, I don't need too much, just a little. So maybe, where's that other half? This one there. And maybe one more little piece there. Just use halves again. Because I don't need it too thick. Remember, I'm going to poke holes through here and try to sew signatures in. So I don't want it crazy thick in there. All right, so that is looking good. Much, much better than this. Okay, so let's start inside and put our fabric on. So before I put the fabric on, I do like to put, I don't even know what they're called. I'm sure there's like a technical name for this, but like where you just sort of cover it up like this, so when you're looking down on it, you know, you don't see all of this nonsense here. You just see this nice little off-white material. So, and again, I don't know what it's called. I'm sure it has a name though. I'm gonna sandpaper a little bit with tape, just so, you know, the glue has something to adhere to. I don't know if that's even a thing, but in my mind, it works that way, so we're sticking with it. Here, again, same glue I've been using, Fabri-Tac, and down here too. And I'm just going to smush that around because my material is pretty thin and it would show, you know, sometimes if the glue's too wet, it shows right through onto the material. Which is not like the worst problem to have, but it's not a problem I want to have today. So there you have it. The other one, I cut these ahead of time just so you didn't have to watch me cut fabric. And that looks good. And now we do the other side. I'm not worried that you can see through this because all you're going to really see is the top. You're not going to see much more at all. Can you see the top and the bottom of this thing? I think so. Okay. You go down. And you go down there. Now when you just peek in between the front and the back fabric, you'll see this nice neutral fabric. Okay, back to the inside. We'll put that piece on first. I cut this piece previously again, so you don't have to watch me cut fabric, though I might clean it up a little. Looks a little crooked. I prefer to rip these things, but I don't know. It's just a little bit I want to take off. You know what? Maybe we'll use these scissors. Just take a little bit off the top. Let's see. Yeah, that works good. And then we'll do the same on the bottom. Just a little bit. I usually like fringy things hanging over my books. At this point, I enjoy. Let's see if I have an example around of the little fringies that I normally like hanging out. And of course I can't find one when I want to, so never mind. All right, so this is going down. If you had a thinner fabric at this point that you wanted to put down, you know, like maybe like what we just used, maybe you had this kind of muslin like thing, you can see through there, right? And so you don't really want that. You don't want to see the dark spots there. So what I do if I'm using a lighter color on the inside or anywhere really is I just throw some white gesso down, just finger tool it down. And then just wait, give it time to dry, or use a heat tool if you don't have the time or patience. And I already got that with I got that with the standing already. All right, let's do it. Get a little more glue under here, I think. All right, and we're just gonna go down, and around. And up, and then we're going to fill in the insides a little bit. I probably could use my regular bottle because I don't mind having a lot of glue at this point. We're going to smush it around anyway. You don't want it clumpy. You don't want it like this. I'll smooth it out. Okay. All right, there we go. Just smoothing it out, taking it outside the line a little bit, though we're going to come back by and make sure that the fabric doesn't need more glue in certain spots. But this is looking good. Looking good. Okay. And now smooth it out. Loving it so far. Loving it. All right. Can you see the top and the bottom still? Okay. All right. Looks good. What is that? Seeing there. Oh, just a little string. Are they gonna bother me a little bit? Nope, got rid of you. Okay. All right. So now we're gonna do the other side. And again, I cut it out prior to the video because this one was a little tough to cut. I love this like messy edge. I didn't get a great job of it here, but you can kind of see it here. Just kind of fringy and loose, you know. I like it a little fringy. And I couldn't do that with this fabric because it's just weird. It's a cool texture though. I don't know if you can see, it's like bumpy, almost like a chenille, but it has the weight of upholstery fabric. It's super thick, so I like that. So I think we're gonna go this way and have the fringy part on the cover side. I think that's it. I think that's the decision. And I can go a little bit outside of the tape there. I don't think I did this yet on this side. Sorry, my whole operation is shaking. Sorry. Okay, there we go. All right. And now, again with the glue. And this glue does not take long to dry. I mean, it's not instant like the art glitter. But it's great for this kind of job. And again, we'll go back through. We'll make sure that everything is glued down. That's where this little tiny tip comes in so handy. Okay, I think, again, if it's a thick fabric, I do not mind having a little extra glue on the seam. Okay, so if you don't know, I have an Etsy shop and I have a lot of book covers in my shop, and some of them have these skinny spines, but I just picked them up because they're just so cute. Like the cover or the color or the art on the cover, all of it can be so cute. But maybe you look at it and you're like, I have those big gator mouth, chunky monkeys, whatever you want to call them. Everyone calls them something else. I can't have a journal that skinny. Well, you don't need to. You don't need to. Walk yourself over to the fabric aisle at your local thrift store. Buy some fabric. And get some cardboard, you know. Get your favorite cracker, the cracker store. Or your cereal, even though cereal's so out of style right now. There's still a ton of it out there. So buy the box, get the cheap one. The boxes are great. And also the file folders, right? Those kind of, you know, older style file folders that you always see at the thrift store. So basically go to the thrift store. I'm all about the thrift store. All right, I'm gonna go back through and just check that this is nice. This is not at all coming up. That's great. This one also fine. Sometimes you can, there's more room, you know, you got room under here. You can squeeze your glue bottle. See, like there's a little bit of room in there. Maybe we can do it. 'Cause sometimes you just want this nailed down, especially if you're not going to put in, you know, paper here. If you're just going to leave it as is, you probably want this nice, cleanly put down. But if you're going to add paper to the inside cover, then you don't have to worry about that so much. What I mean by that is like something like this, right? I put the paper inside there. So, yeah. Okay, so that one's good. Let's check the other side. And this, I anticipated that I would have to put more glue, but I'm not feeling it. Maybe right there, there's a spot. Can you see? Yeah, sometimes I do have the paper inside, sometimes I don't. It just depends on the condition, how the book came. I don't know if I want to feel like I need to cover it up or not. This book looked pretty good, right? Like was there any writing? See, there's no writing. I don't know, I might be tempted to keep that. But, I don't know, who knows? So let's give that just a minute to make sure it's nice and dry. And we will make sure it knows where it's supposed to be bending. My fancy tool for this process, very fancy, old hotel card, room key. Yep, it's my fancy tool. This side too, just kind of make sure it knows where we're going to be bending it. And it gets that glue in there good too. Okay. So this book that I did earlier, this I would cover with paper. I mean, I know it's sort of naturally aged, whatever, but it's also naturally a little nasty. So I'll cover that up with paper. This is super thin material, so it's going to be great, easy to lay over some cardstock thickness scrapbook paper for that one. Love that one. All right, so I think she's done. I think this is it. This is going to be a delight to fill now that it has plenty of room. Probably gonna do 3 signatures and just make it massive. Well, not too massive, but you know, it's gotta have room for the good stuff, right? All the stuff we put in there, the tags and tucks and belly bands and all the fabric and all the fun. So that's what I wanted to show you today. If you are looking in my shop for vintage books to be covers, I've got a ton of them. Don't let the spine size be the deciding factor. You want to get the pretty covers. If you see the pretty covers, this one I haven't done anything with yet, but I don't know. I might leave it. We'll see. Gotta decide. So anyway, thank you for coming back to my channel if you are returning, and thank you for watching if you're a first time customer or listener, whatever, watcher. So I appreciate it. I appreciate your time, because I know there are thousands of these videos out there. But head over to my shop and check out Coffee Sunshine Paper on Etsy. A ton of books. I do have some other things in there. I just put on some of these snippet rolls. I just listed those the other day. They're cute. These, you know, can be used for a lot of things. Belly bands and decorating and tag toppers and all sorts of fun stuff. So head over to the shop and check me out. It's Coffee Sunshine Paper, all one word. And reach out to me on messages if you have any questions. And I'm also on Instagram at Coffee Sunshine Paper. Okay, so thank you for joining me. Have an awesome day. Thanks, guys. Bye.